So I'm here with Kevin Fairbairn from Zoom, and I've asked him to run through some of the specifications of the new Zoom F2. I say it's new, but it was released back last year.
It's been around a while, but it's been off the market a bit. Well, no, it's just been off the market a bit because we've not been able to get enough of them into the UK.
Okay, fair enough.
But we now have them in the UK.
Amazing.
So come and buy it.
The Zoom's connected to you, I've got the Hollyland connected to me. This is kind of an unfair comparison that we're doing between the two mics because two different voices, but do you mind just running through some of the specifications of the Zoom F2, just telling us what it can do, what it's about, and why it'd be useful for people? Okay,
so the advantage of the Zoom is that it is a self-contained, powered by AA batteries, pocket recorder, field recorder. You can put an SD card up to 512 gigabits, and which will give you, 30 days recording time, something like that.
That's insane.
It's utterly insane. And it's very, very easy to use. You've literally got some transport controls and an on-off switch and a record button. That's it. That's as complicated as it gets. And the reason it's that simple and you don't have to control gain levels is because it's got 32-bit float technology.
Do you mind briefly explaining 32-bit float?
Okay, so 32-bit float basically does away with the need to worry about levels. I guess the analogy I would use, it's a bit of a rough one, but it might work, is that if you're photographing in RAW, you've got the ability to go back and change things and redo your balancing.
So this is capturing enough information?
It is capturing enough information that if, if something is too quiet, you're always going to be able to gain it up without losing quality of signal. And if I start yelling at it like that, the thing is going to cap, and it's not.
Shock our audience for a minute.
Yeah, it is, but it's not going to saturate the audio. You're going to be able to balance that back into the mix. You're never going to peak. Yeah.
So you've got no need for managing levels. You literally just plug in, and that's why it doesn't necessarily have a direct headphone jack. But I guess
it's got a headphone jack, so you could monitor it. Yeah. There's nothing stopping you plugging any other 3.5 mil, into it, and so it doesn't have to be a lav mic. If you've got another mic that'll work with it, that's absolutely fine, and you can monitor it, and you can use it for listening back.
Amazing. What about the connection over here, the Usbc? What's that
okay, so the Usbc connector is very simply just to be able to access your recordings.
Okay.
So you don't need to keep taking the card in and out. You literally connect it to your computer or your phone.
Can you use the Usb-C to power the device at all?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's used not only to get your recordings off, but yes, you can also power the device from the USB connector.
Amazing. So effectively, you could have unlimited, 5, 12, 30
limited by the size of the memory card.
Yes,
absolutely.
Incredible. So how much is this going to be retailing for, and is it currently available now? Okay,
so it's currently available now. I'm supposed to only quote you MSRP prices, but on the street, that's going to probably be 140, 150 pounds. Yeah.
Okay.
There is also a Bluetooth version.
Okay.
The Bluetooth version brings you the ability to control the device from an iOS app.
Okay.
Now, the advantage of that is that you can switch it on, put it into hold mode so nobody can tamper with it, tuck it into the bride's clothing, because you can also do a white one, and you can use the iOS app to stop and start it. Okay, which is great. The other thing is that you can use Bluetooth timecode, so you can sync it with timecode using Bluetooth timecode. I think the product is made by Atmos. Is it I can't remember the brand, but there's a product that does Bluetooth timecode, and it'll work with that. And you can sync it to the other Zoom recorders that do Bluetooth as well.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Kevin. Really appreciate it. I'm going to take that off your hands for a few minutes,
sure.
And then just test it out. So we're now going to do a very quick side-by-side recording between the Zoom F2 and the Hollyland Lark 150. I've got both mics connected to me and connected to the Zoom as well. And this is what the audio sounds like with the Lark 150 connected to the Sony camera. In the Sony camera, we've got the levels down to 1, so we're boosting the signal on the Lark 150. So this is what it sounds like. If we switch over to the Zoom F2, what you're now listening to is the Zoom F2 audio. 32-bit flow. As Kevin mentioned, there's no need to mess about with the levels because the levels are, there's so much information that it's capturing that you don't need to worry about that really, and that gives you a lot of flexibility. You can just plug in and play really. So recording at the moment with the Zoom F2, and this is what you're listening to. So you can decide which one you think sounds better. Do you think that the Zoom F2 sounds better than the Hollyland connected directly to the camera, or do you think the Hollyland sounds better than the Zoom F2? But yeah, this has just been a very relatively quick comparison between the two lav mics, the Zoom F2 and the Hollyland, and I kind of like this. I really like the flexibility of it because, as I mentioned, you don't need to have any headphones or anything connected to it. The audio signal is going to be sufficient that if you do screw up a little bit, you can just bring it back in post. Anyway, a quick comparison between the Zoom F2 and the Hollyland Lark, and hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you.